As early as late 2017, the age of hype initiated by Russia's arrival on 2B2T was already considered by some to have come to a close. In May of 2018, Jared 2013 griefed one base for every day of the month, giving this event the name of 31 Days, 31 Griefs. He did this by gaining base coordinates through exploitation and other methods. After the final grief, he made an announcement stating that 2B2T will undergo a rebirth as a result of nearly every major base, even while hidden and unknown ones on the server, being destroyed. Around the same time, block game Mecca, then the largest base on the server, was also destroyed after it was raided and its location compromised. Soon afterwards, a similar incident happened to Beaumecon, the base half destroyed and valuable items within it stolen. The ensuing investigation that occurred was called the Beaumecon Witch Trials. Initially, Jared was blamed for the destruction of the bases. However, the culprit was found to be a player named Beardler, with assistance from some other in griefing and obtaining coordinates for the bases. He was also found to be leaking player IP addresses, which he obtained through the museum server, as well as tampering with information on it, seemingly confirming Fitz's fears about the server. His actions violated several principles put forward by the museum, Beardler apparently putting up downloads and leaky coordinates mere hours before raiding them, and using the stolen items to put in his own personal museum. Several weeks later, he released an apology after losing his position at the museum, announcing that he would take a break from the server for several months. The next month, Infrared griefed a base controlled by the Vortex Coalition, turning on its former ally, resulting in the Coalition joining forces with their former rival, Imperium, and declaring war against Infrared, intending to destroy the organization. Soon after, two Infrared members griefed the Voco base as another offensive attack, though one of the involved players, going by the name of Women or Objects, leaked the coordinates of every Infrared base, and soon afterwards the other griefer, Windows XP, accidentally leaked the coordinates of two bases made after the incident. While Infrared had been in severe decline by now, being reduced to only 6 members, they did take advantage of Voco revamping one of their bases, and destroyed it using withers and lava casting. Infrared's waning days were spent with Highland, killing other players at the Nether spawn, before disbanding due to internal conflict by August, with Voco releasing a video essentially warning against other groups who intend to perform similar actions. In November, Infrared would again be reorganized as Iridium, before disbanding again the following month. It did so again in January, dissolving even quicker than before. Around July, the server's economy crashed, after a duplication glitch, involving outrunning the server's chunk loading while on a donkey, was leaked by an unknown party after being kept a secret from the server by a group who discovered it. The dupe would eventually be patched in September, being one in a long series of donkey-related dupes. On September 20th, 2018, a large French YouTuber, Fuse3, published a video about the server, named Everything's Lad on this server. The video received a large amount of views very fast, and players were quick to react, with many calling for a new incursion, as the queue had been noticeably larger from the new players joining. The 7th incursion began less than a day later, with Jared 2013 being elected its leader. The incursion members attempted to barricade the spawn and contain the oncoming players by surrounding the spawn area with a giant lava curtain, reminiscent of what was done to deter the rushers during the Rusher War. Other players constructed trenches around the spawn area to help the incursion forces in the overworld, and used portal trapping to prevent players from escaping into the Nether. After the 7th incursion had begun, Fuse created Team Baguette, intended to be an alliance of French-speaking players on the server, and declared war against the server's mostly Anglophone population, who he referred to as Americans. During the incursion, Fit was kicked, based on suspicion that he would be collaborating with the French, based on his activities during the Russia War. As a result, he claimed that a civil war had broken out on the server, between YouTubers and the rest of the incursion members, even bragging that he had insiders within Team Baguette. Though Fitz claimed that the incursion was engulfed in a war against YouTubers, was considered dubious to plain false, the incursion was far from united. Jared's kicking of members whose actions he disapproved of was one of the events that led to the incursion forces fighting a two-sided conflict against both the French and the anti-incursion, a group headed by Women or Objects, a former Infrared member. The anti-incursion was a group who felt disenfranchised by the incursion's forces and actions, and fought a guerrilla campaign against them by destroying barriers meant to prevent the French from advancing. Jared's subordinates eventually ousted him from the incursion as a result of his mismanagement. The final nail in the coffin of Jared's leadership was him being found to have been fabricating screenshots of things said by fellow leader Henry, eventually resulting in the incursion declining and being closed by October 13th. Jared started a second attempt at an incursion, the 7th incursion Reloaded, which created some entrapments at spawn before also meeting its end, a result of spying done by Imperium. One of the final events during the French War will be Fit defeating Fuse in a duel amongst the ruins of Aria's city on November 29th, nearly a month after the Incursion collapsed. This finally ended Fuse's presence on the server. The 7th Incursion was regarded as a failure, which was attributed to his disunity and mismanagement among his leadership. As a result, it only helped increase the amount of anti-Incursion sentiment that had been on the rise on the server. Beginning in March of 2019, Minecraft began to see an increase in popularity, and by extension, 2b2t as well. This caused the queue to see numbers last seen during the Russia War. Discussion of an 8th Incursion begins, resulting in scattered attempts to start one, including one by a player named Gambino, which would be seen as a failure. On May 26th, Etika began his streaming of 2b2t, gathering 9,000 viewers, which further affected the server's growth in players. Soon after, Russia was spotted on the server for the first time since 2016, close to the 3rd anniversary of the Russia War, reigniting fears that a second Russia War could begin. Not long after, the Atlantic Craft made a video about Anarchy servers, stroking fears that he would cause another flood of players. 2 YouTubers, Shotgun Plays, and Fortnite YouTuber Insanity, were also spotted. The same day, the Purge was created to ward off new players, especially ones coming from Etika's streams, as an alternative to incursions after they were declared to be dead by Sato, and generally mocked and frowned upon by the community. Etika formed a 9 gang in retaliation to the formation of the Purge. The Purge, like the 7th Incursion, intended to use a lava wall to contain spawn. The Purge also intended to destroy the highways around spawn, and lag out the spawn to discourage players from joining. Like the 7th Incursion, the Purge was also opposed by the Anti-Purge, as well as a group known as the 2nd Anti-Incursion. These groups had similar goals to the Anti-Incursion that opposed the 7th Incursion, and both made efforts to thwart the plans of the Purge. The Purge would later fall to inciting by the Vortex Coalition after its alliance with Imperium, a group associated with the Purge, collapsed. Many of its leaders stepped down, including one named Police Mike 55, who was found to have been impersonating another player with the same name. On June 25th, after it had been announced that Etika had passed away, numerous memorials were built on the server to honor him and his impact on the server's community. The community would continue to honor him on the anniversary of his passing the following year, on the subreddit and on the server itself. Beginning in July, a large group of Taiwanese Minecraft players started joining the server and began to be noticed, the server first gaining popularity in the country in late June. Numerous memes are made regarding the flood of users, including the Tiananmen Square copypasta being spammed in chat after they were mistaken for players from mainland China. Jared attempted to start another incursion to quell the influx of players. Another group, the Teutonic Order, was created in order to fight against the Taiwanese players by exposing the locations of their bases. The group would also become infamous for bed-trapping a player named Gujin, claiming that they were a member of the Vortex Coalition, uploading a video of him apparently crying while repeatedly dying in lava. The number of Taiwanese players on the server began to decline by August, though players from the country continued to have an interest in the server afterwards. On July 22nd, Entity Speed, an exploit that allowed players to travel across large distances by increasing the speed of a pig or horse, was patched, causing some controversy among the server's community. Many players believed that he wanted the server to be closer to a vanilla Minecraft experience than it was. Enough players were opposed to the removal that a change.org petition was created that gained over 300 signatures. On August 8th, Rusher published a video claiming that he would be coming back to 2b2t and planned on making more videos, with Fit receiving confirmation that he would via Twitter DMs. Despite this, Rusher never followed through on this plan. After the end of Jared's incursion, likely one of the most failed attempts at an incursion to date, incursions are replaced with an indefinitely operating incursion group known as the Infinity Incursion. The goals of this group were to make up for the shortcomings from the previous incursions, which had a noticeable decline in the past several years, and restore the original cooperative spirit of the classic incursions. On August 14th, Elytra has made a return to the server, and in early September, Housemaster opened an alternative server for testing, which had some features the main server lacked. In October, the base Lotus City 3 was griefed by the Backstreet Boys after its coordinates were leaked. On October 15th, 3 players wrote the entirety of the Bible into a book and discovered it was capable of crashing the server before it was patched by House, getting one of the players book banned as a result. This results in the formation of the Book Club. A group made the book ban New Fags and Moss using this exploit and shulker machines. It is believed that over 400 players were banned before the exploit was patched. Members of the book club had their priority status stripped, including some who were not involved in the operation. Some remnants of the book club wanted to get back at House for this, by crashing the server afterwards in an operation known as No Server November. Late in October, FIT published a video saying that there will be a $2,000 reward for anyone who is able to find a naturally generated section of the infamous Firelands on 2B2T. In November, Team No Trees was created in order to destroy every tree within 5,000 blocks from spawn and every dirt block within 10,000 blocks from spawn. On December 20th, all illegitimate items, such as stacked armor or alpha leaves, were removed from the server, resulting in controversy amongst the community regarding the value of illegal items. On December 24th, the Spawn Masons completed a gargantuan obsidian structure representing their group's symbol, the Masonic Eclipse, using bots utilizing the Baritone pathfinding software. The symbol began construction on December 16th and consists of over 28 million blocks. On New Year's, a giant TNT display was organized by the Brown Men in order to celebrate the coming of the new decade, but was set off by lightning, slowing down the server for 15 minutes. A hollow version of the display was able to be rebuilt in time for this celebration. In 2020, the server began to increase in popularity again after a decline in previous months. In January, various reports of spawn chunks becoming corrupted began to appear on the server's subreddit. Chunks around spawn appeared to be being replaced with other chunks, making it look like they were being rearranged or being reset to default terrain. Some people began to believe that this would be a widespread enough issue to bring down the entire server, though the issue did not prove that it would show much of a threat after it seemed to stop happening soon afterwards. The exact causes of this are unclear, but it is likely attributable to the server's old age and unique circumstances, or hardware or software issue. On February 16th, the Backstreet Boys griefed a base known as the Monastery, which had lasted for 8 years before that point. On February 28th, Nerds Inc., previously known as the Tyranny, a group known for apparently attempting to gain control over the server from Housemaster, used an exploit that allowed them to log into users' Mojang accounts, resulting in some players' accounts being compromised and bases on the server being raided. This occurred until March 1st, when the exploit was patched by Mojang. On March 28th, the Backstreet Boys gained access to Imperium's YouTube channel and scrubbed it clean, leaving only a video of them raiding one of their bases and Imperium's Omega logo being pissed on. On March 11th, 2B2T's timeline was updated, last being done so in 2018, with the addition of the automation period, which is defined as March 2019 and onwards. Around this time, the player count again increased, with 2B2T reaching its current popularity peak in April, mainly due to the COVID-19 pandemic and YouTube's algorithm giving it more attention. In late March, use of 2 accounts at once is banned on the server in order to mitigate bots taking up queue slots. In April, the bakery was created in order to chunk ban players, in a similar vein to the book club's activities. Chunk bans were patched several days later, after between 300 to 500 players were banned as a result of it. In May, the Brown Men, the group responsible for the bakery, were able to use a series of exploits to drastically reduce the number of players on the server, before Tristan and Pop Bob destroyed their chunk ban stash. On the 29th, a base known as COVID-2147 was raided by FIT and 3 other players. This caused some controversy after it was revealed that the plan to have it be griefed by FIT at the event used to create a video was withheld from the base's founder and its builders by FIT's associates, which included Hermetic Lock, leader of the Spawn Masons. 2B2T saw the 4th anniversary of the Russia War on June 1st, and the server will turn a decade old in December. 2B2T is commonly considered to be the face of Minecraft Anarchy servers, as well as being one of the oldest Anarchy servers, and among one of the oldest servers overall. 2B2T likely has the richest history of any Minecraft server, and is one of the most influential servers in modern Minecraft history. The server has seen wars fought, attempts at colonization and invasion, scandals, and alliances formed and fallen.